Hey everybody, it's Strict 9 with Strict 9 GP, and welcome back to another episode of my Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2020 playthrough. Um, I'm into the second season now with Penn State. Left it in a pretty rough spot in that last episode, but we managed to turn it around, and I'm feeling a little bit better. But today we're going to start on the Big Ten conference schedule, and I think that's probably going to do us in. We got some tough games right out of the gate. I mean, we've got Michigan at home, thankfully, but on the road against Nebraska, Iowa, then number 5, currently Maryland, and last I checked, they were still undefeated. So let me double check. That one's probably not going to do too well. Yep, they're 11-0, still undefeated. But I'm hoping to get through maybe first 5 games or so in this episode. I don't know how we're going to do now, but I will say I left it last episode. We had battled our way back to 500 at 3-3 in this non-conference schedule. We went ahead and won the next 3 games after that: Drexel, Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Marshall, all at home for what it's worth. But our assistant coach had us really scouted in a disadvantage against 2 of those 3 teams, I believe, if not all 3. I think maybe Purdue, Fort Wayne was the only team where we really were scouted to win. And so I'm hoping that's a good sign. Another good sign is we won handily. I mean, double-digit wins, plus 20-point win against Marshall. So we really started scoring, including that Florida A&M game and Stephen F. Austin from the last 2 episodes. I mean, we've been scoring a lot better, and I'm hoping that we're gelling at the right moment, and it's going to lead to something good. I'm at the dashboard screen, which is where I usually start, and some good things here already, too. The mood of the team is a little bit better, so the only person who's really upset right now is Eddie Perry. This guy's a sophomore with a good potential. He wants a lot of play time. I get that. He's probably not going to get it on this team. I've tried to look at the depth chart again to see if I can move him in there, because I think that's what it boils down to, and I'd really hate to lose him. But on the flip side, I mean, we got 2 very solid small forwards coming back next year. And so if Eddie Perry were to transfer out, I mean, it wouldn't be a terrible loss. We also have our best recruit, James Ratliff, who's already signed a letter of intent. He's a 3-star recruit, so he would probably take over a lot of the slack if Perry were to leave. But hopefully, as the season goes on, maybe he'll settle down. I mean, he's still at a 36% coach relationship with me. I've seen guys go a lot lower than that. Hopefully he'll stay on, but you can see from his minutes, he's getting double-digit minutes almost every game, so I don't know how much more I can do for him, to be honest. So if it comes down to where he's not going to be happy and moves on, I'll have to live with it. But everybody else seems to be in a pretty good spot. One of the things I did after last episode, I've been paying attention to this insights report for the lineup tracking, and that's something I kind of went over last episode. One of my viewers tipped me off to this. I haven't been really using it, and so I was just looking at the way things were going, and I noticed that starting lineup was really pretty good, but in terms of scoring, Mark Sandin was the better option at center. And so I switched the depth charts around, which is what I said I was going to do after that last episode, and look at the difference this is making. So this is the starting lineup now. They're getting about 60 minutes a game. They have a plus-minus of 49. Man, just three-point shooting at 600%, field goal shooting 570. This is I think, a good indication that I've got the right starters out there. And then if you look at some of the bench play, I think I'm doing a good job with that for the most part. I mean, Perry here, who's factoring in at small forward on this one, I mean, this is the lineup I think I need to go with. I don't think I'm going to switch Parks back in there for now. Hopefully, he's also one of those guys wanting a lot of minutes, but he's a freshman. I'm hoping that won't impact him too much. But man, the last 3 games, just putting Sandin in there have made a huge difference. And I think whether this is going to be the team or the lineup that's going to allow us to compete in the Big Ten, finish 500 or greater, I don't know. But man, that's really positive to see for me. I'm glad to see that. But that's really kind of the goal too. I want to. I think this is where we went into the conference play last year. I think we were 6-3 last year. To meet our goals from the board and athletic director, I guess, we need to, I think, finish at 500 in the conference play, and that's going to be a very tough challenge because we just don't have the depth that a lot of these teams have. But more than, I think it's more than just depth. We don't have really all conference type players anywhere in this lineup. And I think maybe the depth, honestly, isn't the problem. I think it is the fact that we don't have really the kind of player who can just take off, score 20 points a game on average or close to it. And we don't have a big guy inside same way who's going to dominate a game defensively. So I think that's going to be the stumbling block. And it's making me think that I don't know where I want to go next year in terms of if I keep my job, what I need to focus on. But I'm hoping, just to go back to this dashboard again, I'm hoping that we don't have as many scholarships to give next year, and I can use a lot of that budget to maybe upgrade some of these assistant coaches, because I think for this conference, I really need better coaches. I'm a 3-star up and down the line, but you see some of these other guys, I think I've got them into the right place. Alvin Williams, he's handling practice, which is going to really play into player development. So I think he's the best guy of the staff for that. But man, I would really like to have some 4-star or better guys. And it wouldn't be, I don't know how these guys upgrade or improve their other ratings. Like, what I've found is they're usually rated highly when you're going to look for staff. They're usually rated highly in just one specific concept or rating, and then the rest are pretty poor. And so I don't know if that's going to improve. Like with players, I don't know if this improves from year to year, but I feel like we're going to have to get some better guys right here. I mean, I'm not too much worried about scouting ability, but I would really like to get some guys who are better at player development and recruiting into the staff. And unfortunately, both these guys have 2 years remaining. If I fire one, I'm going to have to eat his contract in that last year. So that's why I hesitated this year to do it, and that might be the dilemma I have next year, but we'll see. So that's probably going to do it. I don't know if there's been any big surprises in terms of who's playing well. Just looking at the scoring leaders, it looks like D'Elia, who's that senior shooting guard, he's starting to take off. He's probably my best rated overall player. He's up to about 11 points a game. He led us last year at just over 11 points a game. Looks like he might be getting close to that again this year. I don't really see too much of an advantage from year to year, except maybe in rebounding. Field goal percentage is a little bit better though, but we're playing poor quality opponents, so that may be a problem there. But in the game logs, you see what he's done. He had just a great game against Marshall, 24 points and plus 27. And he was, 4 for 5 and 3-pointers, 8 for 12 shooting overall. Just his best game this year by far. But he's had 3 games in a row where he's been in the positive. He's double digits in scoring. I think hopefully he's going to settle down. I don't know how that's going to play into the conference competition. Jennings is still holding his own at power forward. Sandin, by far the better scorer in terms of center. It's just the rebounds, 2.7 and no blocks. His defense is really a problem. Thankfully, he's shooting good at the line. I didn't really check him. I don't know if he's good at getting fouls or not. Yeah, he's really good at getting fouls. So if his free throw shooting is not rated highly, he just happens to be doing well at free throws right now. But you compare him to Parks. Parks really needs to come off the bench. He's going to give you a little bit better defense, like I've always been figuring when I was setting up that depth chart, but he's just not ready to start. And he's had a couple games here where, he did give us 6 rebounds against Purdue Fort Wayne, but he only got 8 minutes against Marshall, and wasn't enough to really tell what kind of player he's going to be. But I think he needs another year of seasoning. And Sandin is still going to be back next year unless he transfers out. I don't really foresee that. So it'll probably be the same race against those two next year in terms of who's going to be the starting center. But I think for now it's going to have to be Sandin. All right, so let's enough setup. Let's go ahead and get some games started. And really, I will say one last thing. Just the way we finished that 5-game win streak, it really makes me disappointed that we had those 2 losses, because I really think the way this team's playing and the level of competition we had in that non-conference schedule, we should have beaten Campbell. I think we should have beaten them pretty easily. And Wright State took us to OT. We should have beaten them as well. We could have easily gone into this conference play 8-1 with a whole better shot at meeting the goals from our board and athletic director of hitting above 500 on the record. But you can't redo it, so I just have to move on. So now let's go up against Michigan. They're highly favored in this game. No surprise. But this is one of those games I feel like we're going to have to beat some guys here and there that we're not supposed to beat. So I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping this could be one of them, but let's see how it goes. Yeah, we lost. So I'll take a look at the box score here, but no real surprise. I just hope that we were competitive. We're going to have some away games against some lower competition, but I think our home, it's going to really depend on how we play at home. Man, they tore us up, 97-81. That's a big thing. We're just not strong enough defensively. I think it's going to really tell now that we're into the conference. They just really walked all over us. They shot a lot. We shot well. We were over 50%. We were good at 3-pointers. They just went to the line a whole lot more than we did. Rebounds were pretty competitive, 33-29. But this is, what I'm talking about. You got Cohen here, a 4-star with 5 potential. We don't have anybody like that on our team. And Delgado, how's he? Small forward, 3.5 with 5 potential. I mean, he's a freshman. So we're not getting the recruits that these other teams are getting, those kind of things. I mean, it's really hard to do. But looking at the play, look at here, Jennings, 14 points, a good game from him. That's good to see. I mean, that he's playing well. He got a lot of minutes too. Robinson got in foul trouble, but scored 20. He was our leading scorer. Sandin, 3 rebounds, 6 points. Didn't look too great. No blocks. Uche, 10 assists. That's really good to see. 7 points. I'm happy with that. D'Elia, 12 points. Then off the bench, Parks looked pretty good. 19 minutes, 10 points, a +2. One of the few players on the team who was in the plus in effectiveness. We scored more in the paint, which is surprising because I'm still going with that outside shooting. It's just that guys like Jennings, Robinson are probably better posting up a little bit inside, so that might be where we got the points on that one. All right, so let's go. I think the next opponent's going to be at Nebraska, and I'm going to go back to the dashboard before we play that game out. That might be one of the better options or better opportunities we have to win on the road, at least early in the season. I don't think Nebraska's having a pretty good start. Okay, so this is a mistake here. Look at this. Nebraska is playing twice. I've never seen that before. So that doesn't make sense. So that's going to be a little bit of a scoring bug. I don't know how that's going to I don't know how that's going to work. Wow, that's kind of crazy. I've never seen that. So we're actually picked to win, but wow, that's weird. Let me take a look at their dashboard to see if it really shows that. Yeah, they've got 2 games scheduled on the same day. I have never seen that before since I've been playing this. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and run with it. I hope it doesn't corrupt anything, but it's a weird glitch. All right, so let's see what happens. That would be a tough thing for them if they lost both. Yeah, we won that one. I'll just chalk that one up to a little bit of a glitch. But that was weird to see. All right, so now take a look at the box score on that one. Hey, they beat Iowa. Wow. So they beat Iowa, lost to us. Close game, 64-60. One of the lower scoring games we've had in a while. We have won a low scoring game before, non-conference. I think we beat Grambling, I believe, low scoring. And hey, Mark Sandin, player of the game. But boy, this does not leave me with a lot of confidence. He scored 16, 5 assists. Boy, that's good. Just 2 rebounds, but 8 of 16 from the free throw line. That's good and bad, obviously. He's drawing the fouls, going to the line a lot, but man, you got to shoot better than 60 or 50%. So outside of him, Robinson, a good game here with 9 rebounds, just 8 points, but that's pretty good play. And then D'Elia, 10 points, 5 rebounds. Uche, not very effective. I expected him to be a little bit better. Unfortunately, he was a 3.5 star transfer. He was rated that way when I transferred him in, so he's lost some of his overall abilities. It might be that I give Odell more playing time. Odell, just currently just a half point behind him, and with a half point better potential. I don't know. He's given me some good games here and there. Odell has. I mean, there was Wright State, maybe 8 points. I just don't see a lot of assists from him when he's out there, which is, that's primarily what I'm looking for from a point guard, just the way he's handling the ball and getting the rest of the team involved. A.D. Lee, 16 points off the bench, 8 of 8 for free throws, and just not a whole lot of scoring. A poor shooting performance from us, one of our worst, 19 for 48, 3 for 17 for 3-pointers, and then 23 of 38 at the line, but that's how we won it. We out-rebounded them, and, well, we did not out-rebound them. I meant we out-fouled, or they out-fouled us. What was it, 14 to 24 in fouls, 36 to 41 in rebounds. I just don't foresee us really leading game to game in that category. But hey, a win's a win. I'll take it. That gives us the start I was kind of thinking we would see in conference play. And do we have a game here? We don't. We're 7-4 though. For what it's worth, I think we started out pretty decent last year the same way. And then we went through a mid-season run there where we just could not win a game. We'll take a look at standings here when this week is completed. And might take a look at recruiting. We're probably going to be in either the quiet period or contact period. I'm not sure which it's going to be right now. Let's take a look at the inbox here. We got another game against Iowa. That's going to be a big one. They're looking for their first win in conference. Ohio State report 66-34 in their favor. They're really, our bench play is good, but it's the big guys inside where they have the biggest advantage. And then Purdue was good last year. I'm not sure if they're as good this year, but man, they're ranked well ahead of us, or rated well ahead of us in this game. And then Eddie Jennings campus visit. So he's another recruit I'm working on, trying to get another power forward and shooting guard interested. Glover's the best recruit here at power forward. I've mentioned this before, though. His parents have a couple big schools there as an alma mater. So if he gets into Syracuse, I mean, they're probably a better program than we are. I can see him going that way. But it's just that GPA. I don't want to give this guy a scholarship and he can't even pass the SAT. That happened last year. Reichart, he's still hanging in there. I'm still willing to go with this guy. I may regret it, but I think if nothing really changes with these other 2- and 3-star recruits, I think he'll be the guy I go with at power forward. Shooting forward, where did it go? I think it was point guard is Jennings who came. I kind of moved away from shooting guard. We're still not in the running. So he wants to play close to home, but he also wants to play in a high prestige conference. So I'm gonna see if I can pitch him a little bit more, and let's see what we need. Program facilities, playing time is not a big concern. Academics is not a big concern. His parents, that's not going to probably factor in there. So he's been on campus. We are in the evaluation, which means I think we can host recruit, and watch recruit in live games. If unfortunately we didn't get much movement having him come, so I don't know if that's really going to be, if he's going to be a guy we need to spend a whole lot of time on. I'm going to watch some film, see if I can find out a little bit more about him, and then move over to shooting guard. Peterson, we're 6th on his list. He's already been here. Gosh, do I really want to scout him live? Let's watch some film. I've gotten all I'm going to get from him in terms of calling. Facilities, location are really important. I'm not really sure how. I don't know the Northeast as well as I should. I'm not sure how close Wilmington's going to be to Philadelphia. A pretty good player. His parents, though, Connecticut. It's another situation where that's probably going to be a better program than Penn State right now. I'll scout him live. Still got some good budget left, and then power forward. I think Reichart I've scouted live, but I'm going to go there again just to get more details on him. And I said I was going to look at the standings. I know it's early. Let's go ahead and look at it. And are any teams playing twice again? I don't see it. I think that was hopefully just a big glitch there, and that it's not going to corrupt anything. So you got Michigan leading the way, Maryland still undefeated, Wisconsin 11-1, Michigan State, they lost their first game. I don't know who that was against, and then Iowa and Ohio State down here at 0-2. This is on the road. This would be another good game for us, I think, if we could somehow squeak out a win. And we don't. We're 7-5, 1-2 in the conference. It's just gonna. I think it's just gonna escalate. It's gonna be really hard. My goal again is 10 wins in this 20 game conference schedule, and that's a tall order. That really is a tall order against this level of competition. let's see how we played against them. 95-74. I mean, they really just obliterated us. 30, we didn't have as many shots. We were under 50% shooting. 19 of 24 at the line. They were 25 of 30, so a lot more fouls. We out-rebounded them for what it's worth. And really the fouls were close. I guess it's just they got a lot more shooting fouls. But here's this, Ben Scholl. He's 4-star rated. I mean, he's just 2 overall though right now. But a 4-star, 4-star center with 5 potential. We don't have those kind of players, and it's tough. Looking at our team though, Jennings, another good game, 17 points. He's up and down. He's still I guess hopefully developing, even though he's a junior. But that was a good game from him. He got a good amount of field goal attempts. 17 points. That's one of his that's his highest total of the year. So that's good to see. Outside of him though, not much. Sandin didn't look all that great at center. Uche, 4 assists but just 2 points. D'Elia just 8 points. He struggled a little bit now in these 3 games in conference play. I don't think he's been double digits. No, I'll take it back. He's been consistent, 12, 10, and now 8 points. And then off the bench, Clark didn't do it as well, but they had a great center inside there. And then Lee, 11 points off the bench. He looked good, 4 rebounds. Parks, I'm sorry. It was Parks is the center. I don't know why I was thinking Clark. Clark is a center. Gosh, why am I doing this? I'm confused. Clark is the walk-on center. For some reason, he got more play. I guess he was. The other guys may have been in foul trouble. Sandin, though, just with 2 fouls. Parks with 4. So probably some tiredness, fatigue, and fouls allowed him to play a little bit. Sorry, I don't even know my own team sometimes. The walk-ons are just, I haven't been paying hardly any attention to a lot of the walk-ons. I don't even think I put them in my depth chart. I've noticed they're going to get play time in situations where it's a blowout maybe, or like that, blowout either way, or foul trouble. And I think the AI is going to handle that well, so I'm not going to mess with it. So here's a big test on the road against Maryland. This is probably going to be a blowout as well, but we'll see. If we can be competitive here, that'd be awesome. Maryland still hasn't lost a game, and they win. We're 7-6, 1-3 in conference. Boy, that's scaring me because I know that's a pretty rough start. A lot of away games, but we got to win, and it's something I said, I guess earlier. We got to, one of these teams that we're not supposed to beat, we've got to beat. Iowa may have been a good opportunity in that regard. So 74-60 wasn't I don't know. I wouldn't call it a huge blowout, but I'm sure they were comfortably ahead both halves, and we just couldn't get it going. Cooper, he is a center, 4.5 star. It's the big guys. We're just not competitive inside, and we held them though shooting. They were 21 of 57, but man, they went to the line a lot. 27 total fouls for us. We went to the line quite a bit too. 24 for 32. They were just 28-44. So this may have been an off game for Maryland, and we're just, unfortunately just not good enough to take advantage of it. We were terrible shooting, 15 of 45 from the field. That'll kill you. Jennings, 7 points, couple rebounds. Sandin had a good game. I think. 6 rebounds inside, 6 points. Looks like he got into foul trouble and wasn't able to get many minutes, just 18. Uche, 4 assists, 5 points. D'Elia, our leading scorer, 16, so he's back to scoring and had 9 of 10. Great game from the line. Lee, those two guys, they may be the best scorers on the team. certainly the best outside shooters on the team. It's just, I've got Lee playing at power forward some on the depth chart. That's where he's going to get some minutes, but he's a good scorer. You see 8 points on this team right now. He's probably top 5 in scoring coming off the bench. And then Parks, not very effective. Perry, not effective. The bench play was not good in this one. So, a rough start. And let me see what the inbox here says. Post-game incident report, and this is the same. A.D. Lee and Robinson. So, I don't know if I want to mess with it because it was ongoing last year between those two. If I call Lee and say, hey, you gotta tighten up, I don't know what that's going to give me. Right now, it looks like Robinson is, upset, but he's still above 50. So what was it again? I think Lee is, he was mouthing off about. Gosh, let me just see if I can address it. But I didn't have a whole lot of success last year trying to address this, so we'll take a quick stab at it. So I'm just going to give him a call, talk about his attitude. This is crazy. It doesn't really do anything. So I don't know. I think the next time that happens, I'm going to leave it alone because I don't think it's going to really improve. And unfortunately, they're both juniors. They're going to be back doing this again next year. But let's move ahead. I want to get through maybe 2 more games this episode and hopefully get a win somewhere along the line. We're into January now. And I don't know who we're playing against in this next episode, or next game, Northwestern. And we're home against them. I'm pretty sure the scouting is going to have them with the advantage. Let me double check. Yeah, they're scouted to beat us. But I'm just hoping that this is one of those where we can win. This is, we've got to win a game here and there against competition, and we do, thankfully. We've got to beat some teams where we're scouted against to lose. That's just, it's the only way we're going to be able to compete. And that was a good win, but, I think that was a necessary win. If we don't win that one, we don't have a chance, really. So let's take a look at the box score here. We scored a lot of games, 91-78. It's like a pretty big shootout there. So, D'Elia, player of the game, just 13 points. So it looks like we may have had some decent team play here. It looks like that's what I'm seeing. Just looking at the overalls, look at this, 28 of 74 attempts from Northwestern and just 37% shooting. Man, they had way more attempts. They must be maybe a young, undisciplined team. Not that great from the line. We out-rebounded this team heavily, 37-28. And then for us, 57% shooting, but look, 25 less shooting at field goal attempts. Wow, that's incredible. And we had a good game from the line, 29 of 33. Individually, Jennings +5, 4 rebounds, 8 points, not bad, 24 minutes. Robinson, 15 points, 6 rebounds, good game from him. Sandin, one of his better games scoring-wise, even threw in a few assists and rebounds, but just 1 foul, too, not bad. Uche, 5 assists, 8 points, good game from him. And then D'Elia, I don't know, I don't know why I would give that one to D'Elia. I would probably look at Robinson and Sandin as players of the game in this one. And then off the bench, Parks, not bad, 5 rebounds, +5. A.D. Lee, +15. Bailey, he's another guy with some upside here. He's a junior, though. He's going to be probably in the mix for shooting guard next year, but he hasn't shown me much in in these 2 seasons that I've been with this team. All right, but that's a good win. And if we could get back to 500 in conference in this next game, that would mean a whole lot. That would be a whole lot positively for how this team is looking competitively. It's taking a while. I think we're finishing the week, so we'll probably get some more emails here. I'll take a quick look at that. More than likely, it's going to be another scouting report, and we're going to be playing Purdue. Ooh, that's another one. They're heavily favored, but we've got to win these games here and there. Michigan State, this is probably 90 to 10, but the Purdue is a heavy one too. They're scouted 80 to 20. I wish I could look at this scouting report here. I have to go back. The only way I've seen it is you have to go back to the emails to pull up the actual scouting report. So they're big inside, and we have an advantage on the bench. So we're just going to have to hope that the inside guys have a rough game. I do want to look at recruiting real quick before we get the game in, and then we'll play out that one, sim it out, and then move on. So we're still in evaluation. Not much is changing. Michael Smith, I would like to get this guy as a power forward, but I put a lot of time into him, and we're not even in his top 10, so I don't think it's going to happen with him. Penn, we're 3rd on his list, which is not bad. He's got some good numbers there in high school this year. Keith Condell, he started moving down. He was rated higher earlier in the recruiting process, but he's our number one. We're his number 1 school at the moment, so he might be another guy to look at if Reichardt starts really going down in terms of his rankings. But still want to stick with this guy. I may see if I can get some information on his parents while we're looking. All right, so that's probably all I'm going to get from him. And then I want to take a look at shooting guards, and then we'll play out this game. Peterson's still pretty much the only recruit we've got interested. Yeah, he's really the only decent one we've got interested at shooting guard. And then point guard, I mean, Eddie Jennings, we're not on his top 10. And Sean Crosby, he's one of the better probably point guard recruits in the state that I've seen in Pennsylvania, but his GPA is just so low. I'm afraid he might not make it. All right, so let's play this game, and we'll hopefully end on a positive note. I'm nervous. We need this. We need a win here, and we get it. Oh, that's a good sign. We're 9-6, 3-3 in conference. Once again, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we're going to have to win at home more than likely, but we're going to have to beat some teams that we're not scouted well against. It's the only chance we have. But that was a good thing right there. We beat them 77-56. Big game here for us. So just looking at the overall numbers, they had a very poor shooting performance, and we had a great one. They were 18 for 53 from the field. We were 28 of 54. They had, man, this was so even. I love, a game like this just tells you so much, because they did have a lot of three-pointer attempts. They were probably trying to get back in the game, but 53 attempts for them, 54 for us. And look at the difference. And 10 more baskets made from us. And then 18 times they went to the line, 18 times we did. We were 11 for 18, or they were 11 for 18. We were 14 for 18. So that, those kind of things make a difference. And once again, we out-rebounded a team. 33 to 29 total. That's, the second time in a row I'm seeing us out-rebounding a team here. Not a lot of fouls for us. Jennings looks like he got in some foul trouble, but Parks maybe, considering he's coming off the bench, but individually Jennings still had a good game. David Robinson was the player of the game, 17 points. So he's had, even though he's got that trouble going on with Lee, that's 2 good games in a row from him. Sandin, unbelievably, had 5 rebounds in this game. That may have been his season high. No, he had 6 early in the year. Well, he had 6 against Maryland too. So, no blocks though. But I'll take what I can get from him. 6 points plus 7. Uche 5 assists. D'Elia 4 points. He was very ineffective. I don't know if he was going up against a pretty good guy, and well, that's point guard. So they had 2 point guards in the game. I mean, just looking at the ratings, I mean, you see how much it is. I mean, their whole lineup, and this guy, who is he, power forward, he's a 5-star, true 5-star player, probably one of the better players in the conference. There was not a player in that starting lineup that wasn't 4.5 or better in potential, and 3.5 may have been the lowest rated overall. No, 3. Gosh, that's it's hard to believe we won, but that's what we're going to have to do. So good game. And looking at the rest of the guys off the bench, Bailey, Lee plus Clark. So good bench play, really, all up and down the line. A lot of good play there from the bench. All right, so that's going to put us in a pretty decent spot standings after the first 6 games. We're 3-3 in conference, 9-6 overall. So we were about at this level last year in terms of where we stacked up against the rest. We weren't the worst team in conference, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think our in-conference record last year was 8-12 or 9-11, something like that. I'm hoping that again, 10-10. That's all I'm asking for. I think that's going to be enough to see us progress a little bit. I think I can keep my job with that record, and I think maybe our prestige will go up a tick. Might help in recruiting. May give us a chance to get a postseason tournament. But that was a big one right there. Purdue is off to a pretty rough start as far as that's going. They're 2-3 in conference now, so they may not be the greatest team in conference now. You got 3 teams though here in the top 10. You got Iowa, Minnesota playing pretty well as also. Ohio State's up 10 wins, but they're 2-3 in conference. If you look at the teams that we got coming up, we've got Ohio State on the road. That'd be one of those. That would be one of those road games that we really should win. I'm sure that they're scouted to win this one. Yeah, pretty easily. Once again, it's the big guys, the forwards in the center, where they have the advantage. But I still think that's one of those that we need to try and win to meet the goal. I'm saying of 10 wins. Then Michigan State and Rutgers at home. Rutgers might be a good chance to win. Michigan on the road. I don't think Michigan is as strong as they have been in the past. So maybe we can sneak out a win there, but I doubt it. If I'm looking at this schedule for the next 6 games, I think Ohio State, Rutgers, Nebraska at home, maybe Illinois at home. Those are the guys where we need to try and win. But I'll take the start we're on right now. I mean, we lost at home against Michigan really heavily, but the other 2 losses were on the road, against one of them against number 4 Maryland. We might be okay. So what I'm going to do offline is I'll probably sim through until we get to these last 6 games or so, where we got Michigan State, Iowa, Ohio State, 3 at home, 3 away. But the way it's looking now, 2 teams, 2 of the best teams in conference, but some other teams that we might have a chance against. I'm hoping that we come into those last 6 games with a 500 or better record in conference, and that might be enough to let us squeak through. But we'll have to see. As always, though, I appreciate you guys supporting the channel, watching the series. I'm hoping you're enjoying it. I'm hoping that this is going to be a better season, and maybe there's some light at the end of the tunnel with this one, but we'll just have to keep going. I will see you next episode. Thanks for watching.